been getting a lot of requests to show you how I wrap my horses with my polo wraps. Again, for those of you who don't know me, I grew up playing polo. I've done this a zillion times. If I had a nickel for every wrap I rolled or for every leg I wrapped, I'd probably be pretty wealthy by now. I guess first things first, how tight you roll your wraps is really makes it either cumbersome or helpful. So I roll my wraps pretty tight. Like we used to joke around. Sandy hopefully will laugh at this. We used to go to the laundromat because we had lots and lots of wraps to wash. And we'd have contests to see who rolled the best wrap. And we'd throw them at the wall or something and see if they'd come undone. So it was a little competition, a little fun competition that we do. Anyways, I have two wraps, I put them together like this, pretty simple. I just leave a tail on one, set the other one in, pull it tight, and tuck an ear down inside like that. Now, how I roll my wraps is another kind of trick of the trade. Get my wrap dirty here. So, number one, some people do this and put their Velcro on itself. But the thing is, when you do this over and over again, like I used to do, so with polo horses, you wear out your Velcro pretty fast. So we didn't do that. We'd lay the flat back on top of itself. Roll this really tight. Really tight. Put this one down for a second. And then the technique, pull, roll, pull, roll. And then at the end, pull tight, wrap it, same thing, tuck that ear in like that. And it's a pretty solid wrap. Why that helps is because when you roll it really loose, even like though they have those little winder things, you roll it really loose, that wrap will start folding when you're trying to put it on. It folds in between your hands and it gets all mushy and it's really hard to hold onto. When it's tight and it's got some rigidity to it, all you gotta do is lay it on then. You know, the thing about wraps is the cure is almost as bad as the disease, so to speak. They're very good when they're put on well, and they're very bad when they're put on not well. So I'm really a stickler on how to put my wraps on. No wrinkles, you don't pull tight, you don't leave it too loose either, because if it's too loose is just as bad as too tight. It's the Goldilocks rule. It's got to be just right. So if you leave it too loose and it sags down, either one, it comes undone, and then you're running down the polo field or across the cross-country course or whatever, and you got a flap hanging, somebody steps on that, trips your horse, down you go. Or another thing, you can injure your horse. That wrap gets down and gets tight and binds, and now you've corded your horse or bowed your horse because it's made a tight spot. Same thing with over-tightening. You'll actually run the risk of cording your horse. Where you going, buddy? You're going to help me do this here. So I'm going to show you the polo way, the way that I was shown with the priorities that I was shown. Growing up. This doesn't mean it's the only way to do it. It's just the way that I was taught, and it's never failed me. And I've done this a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this. I'm going to just go ahead and wrap this first wrap, and then I'm going to explain on the second wrap. Okay, so you saw me doing a lot of wipe. That's me feeling for wrinkles, right? On the way down, each time, this next time you'll see, I just do it prettier when I just do it without talking. That's why I wanted to show you this first. Each wrap was half of the previous wrap. It took up half the space of the previous wrap. Even. When my dad taught me this with knots, the prettier the knot, the safer and the more functional the knot. If the horse pulls back and you've tied it initially with a nice pretty knot, when you get there in a panic situation, you can go, that's a knot that I can get undone, or nope, I better get my pocket knife out and just go ahead and cut that. Same way with wraps. If you've got a pretty wrap when you're done, it's probably a functional wrap, right? So and that's not always the case in life. Pretty doesn't always mean functional, but to me, with wraps or with knots, pretty, generally speaking, is functional. Okay. All right. Let's go to this other side. Do this one. All right, so now what I was taught, priority number one, is you want to pull the tendon in, right? So if you go back and you watch the other side, you'll see that I was encouraging the tendon to go that way. Whether that's a wives' tale or not, I don't know. I've just always heard if you pull the tendon out, that's hard on the tendon, because of the way the horse moves and the way that slides through the tendon sheath. So you'll do one way on one leg and the other way on the opposite leg. So on this leg, I'll be turning the opposite way. Now you see me doing the flap. Some of you might have seen that. Some of you might know what it is. Others of you don't. This is more of a polo way to do it, because in the end, let me go ahead and get it started here. In the end, see, this lays across all that important tissue back there. Horse overreaches, or say a mallet accidentally comes down and clips a horse in the back of the leg there. They've got a third layer of protection right where all that important tissue and very exposed tissue is. So that's the reason for that. All right, let me start that again, because like I said, when I talk, I don't do as good of a job. So I catch that on the outside there a little bit, and then I start my wrap. Now see this line of the previous wrap? Usually I'll hit that line or just above it with the next, and then the next. So generally speaking, this horse has probably a pretty average length cannon bone. Generally it's 1, 2, 3, 4 down, generally speaking. Now I get my flap and I put it in place. This is where that wiping you saw me do on the other one. I'm always making sure there's no wrinkles here. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4 down, and then I do a sling wrap. So I sling under the pastern, right? And then as it comes back up, it naturally goes straight again, right? Straight across. Now again, I start. Now this obviously isn't half the wrap, so I start shortening my wraps, and then end up right at the top. Again, generally speaking, a pretty wrap is a functional wrap. If you look right here, you'll see how this crisscrosses pretty much in the front of the pastern here and goes down under. That's a pretty wrap. And again, that's not as pretty as I usually do when I'm not talking, but those are kind of the basics of wrapping polo horses, or wrapping legs with polo wraps. I guess if you have any questions, just leave some comments down here at the bottom, and I'll try to get back to you and answer them. I hope that helped some of you learn a new way of wrapping legs.